For ACUSports.com, Grant Boone here with head men's basketball coach Joe Golding. His team gets ready to head to Huntsville, Texas to take on the Sam Houston State Bearcats, one game ahead of ACU in the Southland Conference standings. Coach, your team came off another just classic Southland Conference battle on Wednesday night. You get the win over Lamar, 74-69. It was a team that you went into the game tied with at 5-4. What was the difference for your team pulling out that victory?
Hey, you know what? Obviously, hitting some free throws down the stretch.
9 out of 10.
We were able to get a lead there, and then ice the game at the free throw line. And so we've been able to do that a couple of times. And I think we're getting more confident. I think going in, you and I talked about it. We knew it was going to come down to the last 4 minutes. We've got a ton of respect for Lamar, Coach Price, their basketball program, and their team. They've got a senior-laden team. They've got a team that's been there before, and they've got a team that's won a lot of games. And I expect them to be in KD and be right in the mix when it's all said and done. And so we knew we'd have our work cut out for us. We thought it was nick and tuck. Both teams made runs. We happened to make our run late, and then we're able to hold on and make some free throws at the end.
In games that come down to the wire, it's easy to lose sight of runs earlier in the game. You're down 9, 28-19, say 5 minutes to go first half. And you really began going to Jelani Friday. Tevin Foster had 2 or 3 assists in that stretch. You finished the half, last 5:05, 17-4 to turn a 9-point deficit into a 4-point lead. You clearly don't win that game if you don't play like that in the last 5 minutes of the first half, do you?
Yeah, you want to be more consistent and not have the ebbs and flows sometimes of those scoring runs. But it just seems like in our league, every game has been like that. And when you watch tape of other teams, their games are like that. It's just college basketball momentum is such a big thing, and you hit a few shots and you go on a run and force a few turnovers. The next thing you know, it's a 9-0 run, and you try to stretch it as much as you can during that time, and then the other team seems to punch back at you and make a run. And so, there's just so much parity in our league. Teams are so good. You got a lot of players that have been in the league a long time. These teams know each other really, really well. These players know each other really, really well, and it makes for good basketball. It's obviously great entertainment for the fans. It's hard to coach in because every game's tight, but obviously. I thought our team did a good job. We shot 55% from the floor, and we held them to 30%. And so anytime you can do that, you're going to give yourself a chance to win. We had 16 turnovers, which is still too many. We've struggled here late, taking care of the ball. We battled on the glass. I think we lost the glass by 1. Obviously had 22 assists, which is really, really good. The free throws didn't look as bad as it probably really was. They fouled us obviously late. We got to do a better job. Lamar does a really, really good job. They're probably one of the best teams in the league of getting to the free throw line. The game before against McNeese, I think they got in there 33 times. McNeese only got there 12, 14, 15, something like that. So, for the most part, we did what we had to do to win the game.
And when the game was hanging in the balance, a team that forces a ton of turnovers, they're top 10, I believe, in the nation in forcing turnovers, you were able to get the ball in bounds. Something that seems sometimes like a given is never easy against Lamar. And by and large, you protected the ball and made free throws, and that's how you win close games, isn't it?
Yeah, we did a good job of executing late and getting into our press breaker sets and being able to get the ball in bounds. Obviously, it's really nice to have Jaron throw the ball in there. He's a junior. He's been throwing the ball in since a freshman. I really trust him, and he finds the right people and gets the ball in. Then we made a little switch there late, and we put Jay Frankie in to throw it in and move Jaron out. And so it's things we work on in practice, end-of-game situations, and we've been in a ton of tight games, it seems like, this year, and we just get more comfortable in it as we go. But was excited. Was excited we were able to execute that, and then I was really proud of our defense and, again, competing on the glass. I think that this time of year, the grind sets in. We've all played a ton of basketball, and your offense is going to come and go. Your shots are going to come and go, but we've got to be able to lock down and get stops this time of year on the defensive end, and I thought our guys did a really good job of that.
Now you're 6-4. You are tied for 6th place in the Southland Conference. We have a month to go in the season. Top 8 out of 13 will make it to KD in the Southland Conference tournament. The team directly ahead of you at 7-3 is Sam Houston State. You gave them one of their losses. In fact, that was their first game of the conference season. Then they rattle off 4, 5, 6 wins in a row. You swept them last year. Sweeping them again is going to be awfully tough, won't it?
Yeah, it's we're going to get their best shot. There's no question. We got a ton of respect for Coach Hooten. As Coach Hooten and I go way back from the Tarleton days when I was here at ACU. He learned from Coach Reisman, and then obviously had the opportunity to work under Coach Marlin, 2 guys I have a ton of respect for. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Coach Hooten just got his 100th victory or 150th victory, which is a great milestone. He's done a great job at Sam Houston. I don't think he gets enough respect for what he's done there. He's won a ton of games. He had 3 or 4 or 5 years in a row where he won 20 plus, which is almost impossible to do at our level. He just ran against Stephen F. Austin when they had some really good teams and got to the championship game, played him well, and just never could get over the hump. But I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done there. I think he's done a tremendous job. This team is no different. They're a typical Coach Hooten team. They really guard. They're exciting offensively. They play a fast style. They get up and down the court. They got really good players in different spots, and I think they're playing a lot better than we played them the first time. Just watching them on tape, I think they have a lot more confidence. They're playing a different lineup. They're a lot bigger now. They've got a kid transfer from Dodge City that tore his ACL in the summer that is now back. His game against us was his first game back, so now he's 9-10 games in. He's really changed their team. They can play bigger now, and then they're playing really well, and got a ton of respect for them. We're going to have to be at our very best, just to give ourselves a chance the last 4 minutes.
ACU at Sam Houston State. It's scheduled for a 6:15 tip-off following the women's game right before it in Huntsville.